ignoring many, many things. You're ignoring the fact that right up until Bryan Kohberger's arrest, like literally right up until Bryan Kohberger's arrest, the Moscow PD claimed that they didn't have a suspect. They were looking for a car that didn't match that of what turned out to be their primary suspect, and that was changed. James Fry had, through his public appearances, had said that the surviving roommates were not witnesses. And then, lo and behold, one of them then turns into a star witness. Basically, the only person who can formulate a scenario that would give us a time frame for the crime, which just then so happens to tie in, we're led to believe, with Bryan Kohberger's car. But that's the only link to it. That's the only thing that gives you that time frame. That timestamp is the eyewitness that seemingly didn't exist earlier on. So what is it? And that time doesn't even match what the coroner released, Kathy Mabbutt, because she gave a time that was at least an hour earlier, albeit it was an approximation. But the approximation, if we want to go down the route of that, it actually started at between 2 and 3. Then it slowly gone forward and forward and forward until gone 4 o'clock. Point being, even though these can be explained, they haven't been explained. When you put them all together, they don't make sense. They don't make sense. We don't know if that's Bryan Kohberger's car. We've been told it is, and we've seen images ourselves that may or may not be the ones that they have in court. We've heard about phone pings, but we've also heard via the court documentation that the finality of those phone records has not come through. They've not been received by the FBI. We've got an issue with the DNA, where we have told that DNA was on a knife sheath that was found at the scene of the crime. But we've also heard in the background that there was 3 unidentified male samples as well. And we know that touch DNA or trace DNA, transfer DNA, the type of DNA that was on this sheath, it would have had to have been on that sheath before it entered into that property. It was transferred to it. It doesn't place Bryan Kohberger at 1122 King Road on this night. It just answers a question that could he potentially have touched this knife sheath at some time, or could his DNA have been transferred to this knife at some time? The answer to that is yeah, it could have been, but it could have been done in a nefarious manner. And it does happen. And why does it happen? Well, when you see things like this happen, when people lose their life, or when people are framed, if you like, for want of a better word, it's done most likely for money, power, gain. And what do we have around this entire crime? We have people who are seemingly walking free, and then we're having big drug busts happening. We also have a crime where seemingly in 1 minute we've got nothing and no one and no witnesses, no nothing, and they're looking for cars that don't match and all this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden we're banged and it's all done, sailed down a river. We then hear about exculpatory evidence, but we can't get to hear the exculpatory evidence because the preliminary hearing is sideswiped off the table and turned into a grand jury to rush it all along. From then on, it's all about gag orders to hide everything. And all while there's a $500 million deal in the background. Now, I set a poll yesterday with respect of the University of Idaho and whether you felt the University of Idaho were getting too involved in something that could potentially impact the acquisition of justice in the Idaho 4 case. The University of Idaho has no place in this. They are an educational facility. That's all they are. They are not a law facility. They're not someone who should be involved in this. There's nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them whatsoever. The acquisition of justice in this Idaho 4 case is nothing to do with this entity. And the vast majority of you did feel that the University of Idaho were getting too involved. And they're getting too involved because there's money. And I feel The more I look into this and the more I hear and the more that people like Steve himself comes forward and says what he said, I just wonder what this place were willing to do for the acquisition of money. Let me know down below. How do you feel? And what are you truly willing to ignore? It's not about 8-hour time delays, even though we can pick through them and we can pick it apart. This is all about a story that all of a sudden came closing down on someone. And when you look at how that happened, there is still a big question mark. We don't know. We don't know when they first found him. We don't know anything. All we know is 1 minute they didn't have someone, and the next minute they've got the guy. And not only that, but on a silver platter, they've got his DNA at the scene. But they're unwilling to show the workings of that. Let me know down below. Have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. I may see you, I may not, but I do hope you have an amazing weekend. Thank you for sticking around this week, and I shall catch you all in the next one.
今個中秋，重新感受團圓嘅味道。雙黃晶瑩，蓮蓉細滑，滿載傳統滋味。從心重新，快樂團圓。美心雙黃白蓮蓉月餅，全新貓山王榴蓮軟心月餅，軟滑榴蓮，淡淡留香。
Hi, I'm Kevin Roach. I'm a professor here at CSC. I am going to be guiding you along a journey of getting your hands on plants. Do you want to know everything there is about biology, extractions? Do you want to see the interior of the laboratory? It has words I can't say in it, but we're growing a lot of it. So, come on down to CSC.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. And if you haven't heard me say it already today, you're looking beautiful too. This is, in fact, video 2 of 2. So if you didn't manage to catch the first one, you know the drill. Go find it. Not now, after this one. Steve Gonsalves, he has yet again been sticking to his word. He's been speaking out. He has been talking. And this time he is talking specifically about what happened at the house that fateful night, 1122 King Road, when his daughter and 3 others would lose their lives. Now, what he is saying specifically, I believe, and this is my opinion, and my opinion has no standing in law and anything. It's just my opinion. And nobody has done anything wrong in any way, shape, or form until proven otherwise in a court of law. But I can have an opinion. We are all entitled to our opinions. And I just wish and hope that one day everybody can have their opinions together, whether they be differing. Look, just because you have a different opinion than me, it doesn't make us enemies. It doesn't make you my opposition. I'm not your opposition. I just have.
I totally 100% agree with Harsh Reality on this. Just because we have a different opinion don't mean that we have to be enemies and shit like that. Like, don't make no sense. Big shout out to Harsh Reality. Big shout outs to you, brother.
Have a difference of opinion than your own. But what am I getting at? Spit it out. Spit it out. I hear you cry. And what I'm saying is this. What Steve Gonsalves is saying, and look, I'll bring it up on screen so you can see it too. Some of you have already seen this. So, University of Idaho murder victim tried escaping suspected killer Bryan Kohberger, but was trapped by friend's body. Family. And what it says is the heartbroken... Whoa, what am I doing? What am I doing? Right, let's go over here. The heartbroken parents of one of the University of Idaho students killed in the quadruple stabbings of an off-campus house last fall claim their daughter tried to escape the attacker but was trapped by the suspect and the layout of the bedroom. where she died. There's evidence to show that she awakened and tried to get out of that situation, but she was assaulted and stabbed. Steve Gonsalves told CBS News Peter Van Sant of his daughter, Kiely Gonsalves. Kiely, 21, was killed alongside her best friend, Madison Maddie Mogan,